Hey everyone, welcome to A Handful of Daisies DIY. If you're new here, I'm Elaine. Thanks so much for stopping by. This week we're continuing our fall series, so if that's something you're interested in, stick around and let's get started. First project today is not necessarily a fall DIY, but I'm not very good at making bows, and I did have a viewer suggest that I use a bow maker. So instead of buying one, I just decided to create one on my own using supplies that I already had on hand. I have some Aleene's tacky glue, a dowel rod or some dowel rods, a drill bit, and I created these rulers using my Cameo 4 and some vinyl, a wood piece I had on hand, and my drill. I'm just going to start out by putting my vinyl cut ruler on my wood piece. I have the first ruler reversed, so the one is going to show in the middle. And then I'm just going to use my vinyl tool that I picked up at Dollar Tree to smooth it down. Then just pull off the transfer tape. There's a lot of little pieces, so I'm taking my time pulling it back. Once that's all on, I'll do the same on the other side. The ruler on the other side has the one starting in the middle as well. Once those are down, I'm going to mark where I want my dowel rods to go and then use my drill to create 2 holes in the middle and then one on the end. I used my dowel rod to find the right drill bit to create the holes. I have an extra piece of wood that I'm just going to put under the wood piece so I don't drill through my mat and my table. So I'm going to use the Aleene's tacky glue to put the dowel rods in the holes. I've used this glue on a lot of projects and it works pretty well. The dowel rods are a pretty snug fit, so that'll help hold them down as well. And I'm just going to clean up the excess glue around the rods. The vinyl I used is permanent vinyl, but I wanted to make sure that it didn't pull up, so I'm also going to use some Mod Podge to seal it in. And that's how easy it is to DIY your own bow maker. Now that the Mod Podge is dry, let's try it out. I've never used a bow maker before, so we'll see how it comes out. Couldn't be any worse than my bows before, right? It will at least help me to get both sides of the bow the same size, which I do struggle with. I wanted to use two different ribbons on this bow, so I'm just putting some floral wire around the first one just to hold it in place. I also cut the first loop of the bow because I wanted to use one part as a tail and the other to tie on my project. So I made two bows and here's how they turned out. Let me know in the comments. How did I do? On the next project, I'm making a wreath using our wire wreath form. I picked up this at the thrift store and then the pick I picked up at Walmart. I'm just going to use the largest one on this project. I love this pick. I thought the colors were beautiful and it has several different types of floral on it. So I just cut the stems apart so I could arrange them on each side. I'm just going to lay it out and try to make it fairly even on both sides. And I'm going to use some zip ties to attach it to the wreath form. Once I get it on, I can bend the bottom around the wire and then cut off the zip ties. Then it's just basically some arranging and spreading out. So I'm going to use the bow that I just made, and I'm going to tie it around the wreath form using that extra ribbon piece I left on the back. Cut a piece of ribbon to use as a hanger and tied it to the top, and then I decided I didn't like it, so of course I took it off. Then after a lot of fluffing, it was done. The florals were moving around a little bit, so I did go back and add a few more zip ties to the top just to hold it in place. And of course, more fluffing. How much fluffing can you do before it's right? Endless, I think. Unfortunately, I put this in my booth for sale and I forgot to get a final photo of it. But let me know in the comments below how you liked this quick project. For my third project, I am taking a glass pumpkin that I picked up at the Goodwill, and I'm going to create a beautiful floral centerpiece. This is another quick project. This is what the pumpkin looked like when I picked it up at the thrift store. It was a greenish yellow, which I liked okay, but it was pretty dirty. And when I cleaned it, all the color started coming off. So I just used a pot scrubber and was able to get all of the color off and take it back to just the clear glass. I'm going to use floral foam. I picked this up at Dollar Tree to hold the picks in place, along with some raffia to hide it. The floral foam is a little bigger than the top of the pumpkin, so I'm just pushing it down on the top to get a mark of where I need to cut it. I have a lot of these blades I picked up at Dollar Tree. They work really well to cut the foam. I'm going to use a good amount of hot glue to hold the floral foam in place. I don't want it to move around. The raffia is covering up the floral foam really well. I'm using the whole bag that I had, and it was just enough to cover it. The stem of the pick was way too long, so I decided to cut the stems apart. And that way I was able to spread it out a little better. I started with the biggest ones and then just filled in from there. Here's a look at how it turned out. Another quick and easy DIY for fall. I love how this one turned out, and I'm so glad the color washed away from the glass. I think it looks so much better. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this week's fall DIY. We have many more to come, so if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. Thanks again and have a great week.